I will talk to you today about the very important topic, power transition. Power transition in enterprise families, especially in the segment of the billionaire and the centimillionaire families. I came across from a discussion with a second generation family member, and he is on the way to take over the leadership of the family. And the family have approximately 5 billion in assets. There's a family office and there's a growing family. And the son is on the way to take over the leadership maybe in the middle of next year. So he has probably 12 months to take over the power what his father and his parents have built up in this kind of period of time. And we had a discussion about what is the best way on power transition. And he mentioned there is a technical framework on a succession planning, very well defined. But the skill set is often missing, and especially on his end. And he was raising the question, what is actually the best way to take over the power? There's a lot of power, what he will get in his hands. What will be the best solution for him? And there are two siblings more. What is the best solution for planning the future of the family? And I was a little bit surprised that this very serious and very important topic, the transition of the power from one generation to the next, is one of the main critical points in each family. And surprise, surprise, it is in many, many families unstructured and not systemized. And through this discussion with this family member, I give him some inspirations on the hand to consider. So first of all, to take over the power of the family is just to have a broader picture. What are the main components of the existing power? There's a family office, there's an operating business, there are family members, there are stakeholders, and stuff like that. Mapping out the power, the landscape of the power, maybe is just one of the first steps to have a clearer view. What is actually the picture of the power? And I've taken some notes and I will share this with you on this video. So first of all, the question is how I am capable to take over this power, that kind of power. And in some cases, it is also my father, my parents, my grandparents shadow me through this power transition pathway. In many cases, it is so. But also in many cases, it just, take it this way, it's trial and error. It's just jumping in the cold water and learn to swim if you have this kind of power in your hands. So, number one, mapping out the power, paint a clear picture of each pillars from the power side. Second is just what I've called the family brand and reputation capital. Do you really care, or do you aware about the family brand? Maybe yes, maybe not. And how can continue this family brand to impact? over generations? And is it just what you want to achieve? If I speak to you directly as a rising gen, is it just how do you evolve? How do you continue the brand of your family? And how you can bring this just in an impact goal? Point number 3 as a pillar, that's just the political environment. So I would say it is very critical and very important that you map out a stakeholder system. Who is actually involved directly or maybe indirectly in the decision process of the family? And also, how do you positioning yourself as a rising gen in the family system? How do you positioning yourself in the family office? How do you positioning yourself in the operating family business? And how do you secure that your decisions will be taken very seriously? And this kind of power is and should be by and large trained. The question was also from myself to the family member, is there any training that you can simulate some kind of situations? And he responds, no. It is just what I've mentioned, a little bit spring in the cold water and learn to swim through doing. I would say that that isn't just the right way. So have on that way, if you take over the power of your family, is there any lab available that you can simulate some situations, some conflicts? Maybe they are waiting around the corner of you, that you are capable to respond in the right direction for the benefit for yourself, but also for the entire family system. Who is actually supporting you on this pathway? Is it a third party, just an advisor? Are the parents, your father, your mother, your grandparents supporting you on this kind of way? And do you feel comfortable? That's the main question. Do you feel comfortable to take over the power? Do you capable to evolve these kind of power, what you have then in your hands? Do you really aware about all these political influences inside of your family, but also outside of your family? How do you handle these maybe ocean, and some families are oceans of advisors? They are acting in silos. How do you break down these silos for the benefit of your family system? And also to secure the power, your power in the family system. If these silos are break down, do you go in compromises? Maybe that isn't just the right way. Is there any personne de confiance on your side or a conseiller to support you directly, to train with you directly in a lab situation, these kind of situations? That you are well prepared, in the end of the day, well prepared to take over the power. But also that you have a clear indication and a clear plan for implementation. How do you want to evolve these kind of power over generations? Maybe that you look back from 100 years or 200 years, whatever, that you look backward and say, and decide, what are the actions actually today? Maybe there are some inspiration in this kind of video, because I found it interesting. I found it a little bit scary, But it's also, I found it is now the time to systemize these succession, especially on this focus topic, power transition. If on the one hand, these succession or these power transition is mainly only prepared on the legal or technical side, and underserved and underprepared on the skill or on the human capital side. And that's my last inspiration for you. Through this power transition, it is also necessary to take over or to take a look in the human capital asset management side. What I mean by this, if you are in the driver's seat of the family, you're alone or with your siblings, it is to have a clear indication, how do you grow the human capital or qualitative capital assets of your family? What's the current status quo on the human and intellectual capital side? Do you have a balanced scorecard system implemented in your family, that you, as a newer generation, have a clearer overview what's happened or what is necessary to develop? That's a little bit similar if you are working in an enterprise, in a corporation. I mean, each corporation, each enterprise, by and large, have a balanced scorecard system implemented. Just as a cockpit, do we are on the right direction? Do we on the right course? Do we have the right attitude? And stuff like that. So ask yourself, do you have the real support, the systemized support on the power transition side? And also, just as a message to the family itself, it is, from my point of view, now the time to consider to systemize these succession process, especially on the power transition side. Because it isn't just more to say, spring in the cold water and learn to swim. I would say that it's just for amateurs. The real exceptional families, they have systems in place, structures in place to support the rising gen on this pathway to take over the power quite efficiently. So for now, maybe I hope there are some inspirations for you in this kind of video. And for now, until next, be great.